It's not Nickelodeon this time. Oh man, where's the film crew? Where's the camera crew, huh? Yeah, I want the camera crew. So who's doing what? They're building. Oh, okay. We don't have any other tour guide folk, right?
Well, me, Jay, Susan.
I mean, you didn't have an astronaut.
Can you do me a favor and shove that in the second big pocket?
He was at the NDL.
The one with the remove before flight.
You got a fancy holder for yours.
He's coming, but we got
Nice.
his
I was gonna say, are you taking like, is that time pictures all day or
No.
video?
Video.
Wow.
That's why I wanted to come by. We're going to go in 2 groups. So this is a building 9.
Is that thing nice enough that you can grab stills from it and have them look decent, or is it just
Yeah, I've done it before.
Wow, that would be kind of handy to have sometimes.
I'll show you.
That's what everyone does. You walk right in.
That makes the pictures lively.
I agree. It's fun.
What to do on here?
Yeah. It works.
You may have had more fun that day.
Well, that was later. It's running.
Find out in post-production.
I say, why are we seeing everyone's stomachs? Did you get the building number this week?
5.
This is 5. Okay, we're doing it now. And I think this 5N. Oh, yeah.
Just remember, 5's next to 29 and 33 is next to 2. And,
Hey, but 4 is right over there, so clearly it's not all.
and I know we're going to building 3 we go next at some point.
I have no idea what he's talking about. It seems
Alright, everybody come a little closer so you can okay. This is right back there. It's a picture.
Well, let's see. Liz, what do you want to do? Do you want to just you want to take the whole gaggle, or you still want to go in 2 groups, or what?
I'm not that familiar with building.
Oh, okay. Well, I all right. Well, since you got off the
Okay, I just haven't been there long.
well, since you got off the buses here, we'll go through. Let me give you kind of an overview. This building's been here since the second Gemini program, and when you go inside, you can see some of the legacy stuff we've got there. And but it used to be all the shuttle. Of course, the shuttle's gone now. All the simulators are off to museums. But we can walk through the hallway. You can see some of the legacy stuff even associated with the shuttle and stuff. But we're going to actually transition over to 4 or 5 South, which is over there, which is where the actual space station simulator is, which I think is what you guys are really interested in. So what I can do, I'll take you in there. You can kind of mill around the lobby a little bit if you want to, and then we'll walk down the hall, and I'll just be talking as loud as I can to just tell you what we used to do. I'm not going to take you out in the floor because it's just basically a high bay area where the shuttle simulators used to be. Like I said, they're gone. It's kind of a work in progress now, so we're just going to walk down the hall. You can see some of the shuttle pictures and plaques from the crews, and then we'll just kind of transition way over to the other far side of the building, and we'll go up and get you into the simulator, the space station simulator. Does that sound good? Yep. All right.
So 2 things. This will be your chance if anybody needs a restroom break when we're in the lobby right here. This is an opportunity. And then we had a gentleman who wanted to see a couple of shots of Mike Coates maybe in the hallway.
Well, we'll see that. That'll be good because we'll walk down the hall and we'll and I can show you the. I think I worked with Mike on STS 8, where he was the pilot. He wasn't the commander there. So we'll see that down the hallway, and then we'll just have to find him there in the big long.
29 also. I forgot about
Yeah, he was probably commander that one.
Yeah.
Jerry was working. He was able to get it approved, so.
100,000 people that are.
Thank you. She picked a good band. It works. Thank you.
No problem.
Thanks.
Listen, we got everybody. Okay, come on, just step on in. Let me shut this door. Susan, Susan, you can get in by yourself, right?
If not, she'll knock.
She'll not. There you go. Yeah, like I said, this is kind of our Hall of Fame on the National Flight Center.
Hang on.
It was called Jake Garn. It's right here. Senator Jake Garn leaded off one of the earlier shuttle flights. So he made this flight.
That's hilarious. That's me.
Is it really?
Hold your case. Back to behind you. Some of the stuff that was stuck over the shuttle there on the bottom row. We went to the glass cockpit of the shuttle after a number of years. Upgraded it like the airliners are now. Way down there in the far corner, you see kind of some of our VIP folks that's come through over the years. Deputy Premier of Russia. We got President Clinton came through. Larry the Cable Guy. Rachel Ray came through. It was interesting. She had her film crew, and she actually went over to the food lab, and they dehydrated some of her special dishes, and they went up on one of the missions, and then they went to New York and did a show with her after they came back. The crew came back and talked about how good it was or something, I guess.
No Martha Stewart?
Oh, that's happening today.
Rachel Ray was it, yeah. Had Steve Colbert did a show here when he was visiting the site. He's had a film crew come in, so we had a lot of folks come through in the old days. Had Nickelodeon in, I think last week, 2 weeks ago.
About 2 weeks ago, yeah.
Where we were here. 2 weeks ago? Yeah, Nickelodeon was in here doing some filming. All right, are we ready? I know you guys are kind of pressed for time. I don't want to rush you, and so just fire questions at me if you have any.
Yeah, just not of people.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah. Oh, you want this?
We're nobody.
You want to take your picture.
We'll take your picture.
And while they're taking pictures, I don't want to get in their pictures, so let me just yell around the corner too. As we walk down the hall, you can see all the pictures and plaques of all the shuttle flights. It goes all the way down the hall, jumps across the hall, comes back to about where the fire extinguisher is there on the left, goes down another hallway and comes back out and ends up right here in the corner. And the very last motion base ride, we had a motion base and a fixed base. Motion base we use for aerodynamic phases of flight. It actually moved around like an airline, like if you went to United Airlines or something. Except ours is a little bit more unique, as you can imagine. And then we had a fixed base, which was the shuttle crew, our crew compartment. But the last motion base that we actually flew wasn't anything with the astronauts. It was actually you can see the plaque, we formulated a little plaque around the corner when you walk through the double doors. It was the kids, the little kids that have cancer. We brought them in from MD Anderson uptown, and we let them fly the motion base. And we took pictures of them and actually formulated a little patch, and you'll see it. You can't see it right here. It's just that last one right there at the door. And that was the last official flight of the motion base before we sent it off to Texas A&M as a museum item. So, but anyway, going down here, we'll point out Mike Coates like we talked about earlier, and then we'll just keep on walking to the other side of the building.
We finally cleared the excess hardware out?
We cleared it all out.
No, I mean of the instructor station.
Oh yeah, it's all gone. In fact, that's new stuff. That's
Oh,
the
really?
next program. Yeah, that's it. So let's see where Mike is along here.
Figured you should get it minus.
I was there.
This is true. Yeah. Nice old patch.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, here's the Mike Coates first picture right here.
This room and the one down there, these were the instructor stations from the...
Yeah, I have a question.
Uh-huh.
How come it jumps from 125 to 127? I saw 126 go up.
Well,
I know it's there.
well, is it here somewhere? Sometimes they didn't fly those things in an exact sequence.
Yeah, we'll
And,
Right here.
At one time, it's like a payload. If the payload wasn't ready to go, or they had some kind of an issue, one would leapfrog over another pod. That's the one you want to see. Yeah, go ahead. And that was bad enough as we leapfrog. But one of the other things that was always confusing was the other naming convention that we had. When they got up to SDS 13, they didn't
Hey, Nate, will you get one with me with this one?
Well, they can tell you that.
Thanks.
That one you do?
spent with
Never
days.
farther down the two you're looking for, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. No problem.
All over Texas, El Paso, Austin.
Did you see SDS one? Yeah, that's what I saw.
So the patches go
All the way down.
down here, up to here, down this hallway, all the way back.
That's
Yeah, we're
funny.
gonna be going down around that way, but they spaced them out. Number one, they spaced them out just so that the last flight would be directly opposite the first flight. And when they did that, 107 and 51L were right across from each other also.
Wow.
That one just fell out.
That is kind of crazy.
Second Gemini flight, this building was used for training, and it's been used for
Some of
training
them,
all
some
the
of
way
them
up.
have kind of faded, you would say.
Everything. And a lot of the stuff that
I remember
space
when we got there,
you
because
guys
that's where you
came
gave
from,
us
I
the
don't know if
printouts
you
of our
had a chance to roll
shuttle.
around and
Yeah,
go.
so the columns.
If you go to the space
When I was here in 2011, we flew the shuttle mission simulator.
It used to be out here in the
They
sky
had
bay.
printouts that you like
Many years ago. 30 years
Gotcha.
ago. But it used to be stacked vertical. And this was back in the days when tourists could just roam around site. And they could come in here and roam around, and of course that was part of the whole tourist activity.
I didn't see that one.
You go up there and you go kind of spiral staircase up in it, and then you go out and out. How are we doing? We getting pictures?
That was they had recently gotten the instructor station upgrade, and they just wanted to get some official looking pictures. So they set up, they had the
just the mission
spotlights
control
with
center.
Dramatic lighting, and they brought a
This is
flag
where the
there,
action is,
and
not
they
the-
move
not those
things
lights
around,
over
and
weeds,
call all these displays so
Yeah.
that it looks pretty, that sort of stuff.
When you get old, you see those kind
Action
of things.
shots where people aren't really doing anything.
Yeah.
It looks like they're doing
Fire
something.
me, make me retire? Okay.
Don't throw me into that.
That's right. Are we ready? Everybody get their pictures? We're going to try to keep moving because I know you want to get up the simulator such that it is. Okay, we're going down this hall here. I just want to make sure we kind of got everybody kind of moving.
What are these the spots out where the simulators used to be for
Well,
storage right now?
right now. Well, actually, we got directed by management. What we want in the building now is photographs. We don't want any more artist renditions and stuff. So we won't see them, but in that...
Cool painting though.
It was great. You can't put it throw it away.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'll put it in my office. Anyway,
There's a painting of the space station.
nice oil painting. You can see where it used to be right there. But management said they didn't want any of those artist rendition things. We had one over there. We took those down, and we're going to put real pictures of stuff. Is this everybody? Susan, were you tailing shore?
I was
over there?
tailing.
All right, this used to be just a big old hangar bay many years ago. And when you came to Space Center Houston, if you go back over there, or you didn't roll around this morning, if you notice the sky in that exhibit, it was sort of horizontal laid down. It used to sit right here and it was vertical. And this is like 30 years ago when tourists could actually wander around the site at leisure. And you'd come in and you'd actually kind of go like a spiral staircase. And that's why that big double door up there, you see, it's kind of a door to open. That's where you exit. You start down here and then you go up the spiral staircase and you go out that door and go back downstairs. Of course, that ended many years ago. They don't let the tourists wander around the site. even before 9/11, we pretty well curtailed that a little bit. But all this stuff went over to Space Center Houston, and what we did, we built that structure there, that mezzanine, and we put the space station simulator up there on top. Underneath it is just, of course, the computers that drive it. And this area here right now is going to be used for space station as well, and still is. As you can see here, space station training facility, payload training, Teledyne Brown, engineers, instructors from Marshall Space Flight Center. Actually, a partner of them are here on site, and they train some of the individual racks.
Rick, I saw him.
Yeah. Space station, training right inside there, they train the astronauts on how to perform activities in the galaxy. See, Rick's here now. I don't want to steal his thunder. But what we're going to do, we're going to get you up there on the mezzanine. And right now, we'll touch the thing and go over there on the article training. But there's nobody out there right now to make things with you guys and some more
Yes. That one way up there. Wow. You heard him talking about well, there's no outlets.
Anybody have any problem with riding an elevator versus using the stairs? We have both, but we probably can't fit this whole group in the elevator. But you're more than welcome to be part of the NASA aerobics and take the stairs, or we just go and shift and go up the elevator. Any problems? Take the stairs. I don't want to do that thunder, so the simulator's all clear. Anything you want to do there. I'll go up there with you, make sure it's cleared with the instructor. I mean the team that's out there, the instructor team. The two guys, you take them out there and you'll see what we want to quickly switch. So they'll do an interview.
The iPhone clip.
Okay, so just for those of you who are unfamiliar, this is Rick Mastracchio, and he's flown a few times, and he's getting ready to do a long duration mission launching in November. November. So we'll be able to follow Rick through a number of ways. He is tweeting, and he is getting ready to launch a new contest called Ride with Rick, and you can become Flight Engineer 7 on his increment. So it is, information about that is in there, but you can also ask Rick some questions and so forth today. We've got about 30 minutes to do this experience in the station simulator and spend a little time with Rick. So.
Yeah, we just kicked it off. If you check out the NASA webpage, and if you follow me on Twitter, AstroRM, you'll see that we're trying to look for ways to include the general public and folks outside of NASA in my mission some way. And I don't want to just keep telling folks about things. I want to include folks and hear things back from folks. So we came up with an idea to pick a few of my Twitter followers and fly a picture of them to the space station with me. I'll take your picture. I'll put it in the window of the cupola. I'll snap your picture with the Earth in the background. Floating in orbit with me. We'll send that picture back to you. We'll email it back to you, of course, and then when I get back, we'll print it out. I'll sign it and we'll send it to you.
Wow.
So,
nice.
What we're going to do is, if you follow me on Twitter, we didn't want to make it too easy, so we're going to ask a trivia question. Like, hey, a month ago, I told you something about this. What is the answer? And so the first one to answer
What's his handle?
will win.
I think he said
for that month.
Astro RN, but I searched for
one
it
a
and I
month.
didn't find
So
it.
probably about 10 of them before I launch, maybe more. We'll see how it works out. So if you follow me at AstroRM and you check out the contest, you'll be able to follow me along. Pardon? I don't think it matters. RM, I usually do.
Rick Mastracchio. Oh, found it.
It doesn't matter, but it comes up. Yeah, it comes up. RM.
I just found it from one of the other guys' tweets.
Yeah,
Sharif.
So I guess we're going to head upstairs.
Okay.
And we're going to make a tour of the Space Station Simulator. Feel free to ask me questions. I'll talk about it when we get up there.
Hey, Jay, you go up with Rick.
2 more hours for 70% battery. Haha. I've got a charger if you need it. Yeah, I have a charger in my backpack. So. That's why I said 2 hours instead of 2.
Oh, guess I'm here. Hi, I'm Tom.
Nathan.
Nathan, nice to meet you.
You too, Tom.
Oh, you're one of the 2 Nates. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The United Nates of America. I saw that. That is hilarious. I thought it worked.
Let's walk. Who wants to walk the stairs?
Sure.
I'll go.
Don't make that mistake.
When you come back.
Don't make that mistake on the station.
No, don't use the exit.
That's right.
I'll see you up there.
The first door, you'll come to the first door about 2 levels up.
Okay.
Making it kind of easy on us.
Yeah.
He told me yesterday after we had done some stairs, no stairs. These sublins from mission control were pretty,
N or M?
M for Rick
M.
Masrecchio.
All right. Okay. Because there's last name.
we did beat him.
Excuse me, I'll get us in. I got this badge. I just made it last night.
See if it works.
We already went through.
He asked me about it, and he said, "You still have it and all that?" And we said, "Yeah, we still got it." And they said, "Well, we might actually use it one day." So we're going to hang on to it.
Yeah, you want me to lead them all the way in? Okay, I'll take you right into the simulator. Go for it. This way. Control room here. Basically, it's like when you're in this. It's a way of making the people here in the building
Long way down.
Oh, Astraccio, it's I know that
CCHIO.
Feel free to ask questions if I'm not saying some of the obvious things.
So are they doing different experiments?
Who's that?
The Russian.
Yeah, every country has their own set of experiments on board the International Space Station.
Coordinated in some way, or is
Oh, I'm
just
sure there is. I'm sure there's some coordination. As far as the crew members go, we just kind of.
Just get the trade places with you so I can get the video.
All the PhDs, all those folks, the countries, they're working together on a lot of different things. So this is a mock-up of the Russian segment of the space station. It's a very, very, very low fidelity because we do most of our Russian training in Russia. So we just kind of got a small piece of it here. Mostly it's the computer and the central console is what we will use when we're training here in the US. So this is very low fidelity, not much to look at. So, but this is kind of I wanted you to get the layout. This would be the Russian service module, and then we would go into the US segment, would be further down this way. So let's come on down there. Here, it'll be a little more interesting.
So the Russians have one that's very high.
Okay, when you go to Building 9, you'll see the higher fidelity mock-ups. They're built in the shape of the real modules and things like that. So you can see this is the airlock on your right side. That right there. Again, kind of a low fidelity simulation. But what we'll do in here for shuttle missions, we actually came in here and we would actually talk to Houston Mission Control and simulate that we were doing an EVA while Houston was working various issues and problems with us. And then on the other side is the what's Node 3. It's called Node 3. On board space station is where we do. It's got the bathroom in there. It's got the exercise equipment. It's got the cupola. Y'all heard about the cupola? Yeah. Greatest addition to the space station. I was fortunate enough to be up on space station about 3 years ago, a little less than 3 years ago, right after the cupola arrived. So it was great. Great views of the Earth. This is the Node 1 simulation. So some of the simple, again, very low fidelity simulator. Like if we want to open and close a hatch, we don't have actual hatches. We just got buttons to simulate that we opened and closed hatches, things like that. The kind of things we're doing in here, we're not doing training that requires a high fidelity simulation. It's mostly training on the computer with the systems and stuff like that. So over in Building 9, which I guess we'll go over later on, you go to Building 9, that's where you'll see the stuff where we're actually going to We practice emergencies over there. In fact, I got my emergency folder with me because after this I have to go to building 9. I'm going to be there for 5 hours practicing heat presses, fires, ammonia leaks and stuff like that. And that's where we have the mask, we have the fire extinguishers, we have smoke coming out of the simulator.
Wow.
You know, the whole thing.
Can I open the hatch here?
Wait. Yeah, we'd probably kill us all, but that's fine. I'm game if you are. I don't know what'll happen. Probably the real space station up on orbit, something will happen. Who knows?
That's right.
I didn't touch it.
Wasn't there
Intended?
real cameras in here? You're like me. When you see a button, you want to push it.
Yeah.
We got the little cameras up there.
Yeah,
where
there's
we-
cameras. It's
Oh,
all
yeah.
recorded.
Pull the tapes.
I didn't touch it.
Yeah. Pull the tapes to see who touched that switch.
So let's walk down into the lab a little bit further.
They have lights up there? Or is that...
That's a simulated simulator. We don't call it lights.
Simulator lights. It's a simulator light.
It's a GLA. A general luminary assembly or general lighting assembly.
Yeah, because calling it a light would be confusing,
That
right?
would be really confusing. You know, NASA engineer, which I am a NASA engineer. I contribute to the project. But I also live with the
That's right. Oh, wow.
So come on in. Let's move all the way in here. I'll try to try to stand in the middle. That way more folks can hear. So this is a mock-up of the U.S. laboratory. Come on in. We'll come in all the way down. This is much longer than the real one because, you know, in orbit you can work on things in the ceiling. You can work in on the floor. Of course, in here it's kind of hard to have hardware on the floor that we want to work with or in the ceiling. So they made it a little longer, so it's not laid out exactly like the real mock-up, but it's pretty close.
Is the surface area about the same if you ignore the ceiling and floor?
The surface area, yeah. It's pretty convenient when you can, you know, turn all different directions and pull things. You know, there's this, on my first mission, I remember I had a locker like this and there was a bag, they stuff a bag in there. And I was trying to pull the bag out like this and I couldn't pull the bag out because it was so overstuffed. I told my commander, I said, I can't get this bag out, I'm just gonna rip the strap. He said, okay. So what he did was he turned around and he put his feet up on the wall. So basically he went like this. And he pulled the bag out. Something that I never thought of because I was used to a 1G environment. And of course, he was experiencing it. He just so that was a real eye opener.
Just rotate your perspective.
Yeah, just rotate it. Yeah. Come on in, folks. So let's get everybody in here so we all can look around. How many more folks we got out there?
A lot.
Come on in. This is a big space station. So right here on the to my right, this is the robotics workstation. We have 2 robotics workstations. This is very, very high fidelity. You can see the console. You can see all the computers. These are television monitors up here, built by the Canadian Space Agency. That's their contribution to the space station. A lot of the robotic arms. And so we have 2 of these. We have one in the lab, approximately in this position. Then we have one in the cupola. The second one is in the cupola because that way you can be there flying the arm, looking out the windows, just kind of seeing what you're doing. When an arriving vehicle, or a visiting vehicle as we call it, when it arrives, we have to actually go out and grapple. So some of these visiting vehicles like SpaceX, you've heard of SpaceX Dragon?
Yeah.
It's a payload vehicle. It doesn't come up and dock with the space station like the space shuttle did. It comes up and pulls up alongside the space station. And then it just waits there, and we take the robotic arm, and we reach out and we grab it. We capture it. That's why you've heard the saying, hey, we captured a dragon.
Okay.
And then we take it, and then we plug it in. Actually, yeah, we plug it into the space station, one of the hatches, and then we open up the hatches, and we eat like kings for a few days.
Canned beaches.
Get ice cream and everything, yeah. So that's how we do it with these robotic workstations where we control. You can see the hand controller. There's one on the left and one on the right. It's, you know, for rotations, and the one on the left side is your translations: up, down, left, right, in and out.
Have you ever had to use that big stop button?
Big
there?
stop button? I've never touched the big stop button, but I don't think it's ever been used. But that's for if you're flying the arm, and all of a sudden it starts to run away on you for some reason, which is really very unlikely. You can just smash the stop button. But that's a lot of failures for that to happen. So this is the U.S. laboratory. This is where a lot of experiments are going on. Up here on the ceiling, I think this is it. This is our PWD, our potable water dispenser. If you look up here, it's basically when we rehydrate our food, where we get drinks of water. a lot of experiments. Robonaut lives in here. You can see a picture of Robonaut down there. He lives in here. One of the things I may be doing on my expedition, I was told, was we may be installing legs on Robonaut. Scheduled for us to install legs on Robonaut so he can crawl around at night. So yeah, I don't know. We're gonna put a bell around his neck.
Just don't name him Hal.
No.
It's okay how it's not all 9,000. Used to be a lot of pranks going on.
Yeah.
It is a stop button.
Yeah. We know how to shut Robonaut down. So, any questions about here in the lab? We could go through the hatches and see the European module, Columbus, and the Japanese module. Any more questions?
Is the height and width, this is accurate?
This
Just the
is,
length?
yeah, the height and width is very accurate. Of course, the real one, has a lot more, boxes and cables like this sticking out. Because it's a laboratory. There's experiments. There's a lot of cables and a lot of things going on. So, but it's pretty big.
Is there a primary orientation? Like, is there one that's usually the floor, or is it just
Usually the floor. What you see here, we usually use that as a floor.
All right.
I mean, I did anyways. But again, most of my missions, all my missions were only 2 weeks long. So, you could fly around upside down just for fun every once in a while. But in general, you just use the floor as the floor. Yeah.
Does it throw you off having real lights in here?
These are the actual. These are what the lights look like. These GLAs. We call them GLAs. So.
Now, when are you going up again?
I launch in November on a Russian Soyuz.
How long are you going to be?
6 month mission. The standard. All the rotations launch on Russian Soyuz, and they're all roughly 5.5 to 6 months. That's the standard rotation. We do 4 launches a year. Every 2 or 3 months, we do a launch. Crew of 3 swaps out. And we have 6 people living there pretty much permanently. Right now there's 3 because 3 folks just landed. 3 more folks will launch
March 28th.
yeah, and the next week, I guess week after next.
Do you know what Soyuz that is?
What number?
Mm-hmm.
TMA 08 maybe? 08M? The 06M just landed, so it might
I have
be
trouble keeping track of them all.
Yeah, 08. Yeah. So let's go to the let's go through the hatch. Be careful not to bump your head. Wear what? Yeah, you don't need shoes. Yeah, you can kick things easily. The only time we'll wear shoes is when we run on the treadmill or when we do some kind of exercise. Here's Robonaut to your left.
I just heard that delayed hearing there.
So this is not exactly how it's knocked up. When you come through the lab, you would go into node 2. So this would be, I guess this is simulated node 2. Node 2 is not this big, obviously. It's just like node 1, but we call it node 2. Node 2 is where we have our living quarters. If you can imagine one of these racks that you saw in the laboratory, or one of the racks that's in the European Columbus module, what we've done basically is you live in one of those racks. We put a little door on one of those racks, and you go in there, it's kind of insulated from sound. Basically, small closet, that's your bedroom. That's your quarters. You sleep in there, you have a computer in there to check your emails and things like that. There's a really fan in there for circulation.
Really quiet up there at night, or is it?
Well, I've never slept in the crew quarters. I've slept in the space station airlock. I've slept in the space shuttle, of course, many times. And it's pretty noisy, so I would always wear earplugs. But the crew quarters, it's an insulated box, basically, so it drops a lot of the noise down from what I hear, and it's nice and dark, so it should be pretty comfortable. I don't think, I've never heard of it. I think the lack of gravity kind of. So this is the European Space Agency. It's called the Columbus module. Again, kind of low fidelity. It's a laboratory. To my right over here is the Japanese module, the Kibo. We don't use the name too much for the Japanese module, I'll say. Again, 2 laboratories, one with the Europeans, one for the Japanese, full of experiments. We train in fact, I leave for Germany in about 2 or 3 weeks. I leave for Germany to do some payload training. I've been there several weeks already for systems training. I just got back to Japan about 3 weeks ago. I was doing Japanese module training. We get different levels of training. Like you might be a user, you might be a specialist, you might be just an operator. So a user is like, I'm a user in the Japanese modules, for example. I go in there, I learn all the emergency things, I learn what not to touch, I learn the big picture. But if there's a problem, I'm flying with Koichi Wakata, a Japanese crew member. He's the specialist. In the U.S. modules, I'm the specialist. So I know a lot more details about the systems if something goes wrong and things like that. So we have different levels of training. On the Russian segment, we're just users because we have the Russian cosmonauts who are the specialists. That way we don't all have to be specialists on everything. You know, the training flow is already long enough, it will make it much, much longer. Feel free to walk into the Columbus module and take a look around if you want real quick.
Get out of the way!
We're doing good on time. Feel free to ask a question.
Oh, yay, I can actually go all the way in here and get this picture. Yay. Now, did he say they sleep in here?
No, I think that's No 2, Destiny.
Okay, because
Unity.
I heard them, this is where they do their email and stuff like this, right? I heard that. It was hard to hear with all the other
European
stuff.
physiology
I'm
module.
going to get out and give somebody else a chance to come in.
Now that D10 is no longer the one with the
My bad.
Oh no, I just didn't. Why is he tweeting about D10? Digital, we have lots of stuff. Unfortunately, it has a rotation sensor screen. So I have a picture.
So I've done several of those. And then there's the experiments that are just being done in the modules. And those ones, basically, they just tell us, hey, you need to go to this rack, you need to take this sample, you need to put it in, you need to turn the experiment on, and then leave it alone for a day, and we'll watch it on the ground. Because a lot of the science is done from the ground. The scientists are sitting down there, they're watching their data. We're just kind of the hired help to go up there and move the samples around. If something happens, turn something on and off, do things like do the mechanical things.
So for the ones that you've gone to for drawing blood or ultrasound or whatever, is that the particular?
Well, like I just had to do an experiment, just finished it this weekend, where it's called microbiome. It's basically, they want swabs of my saliva, they want my blood, they want me to swab my arms and my face every morning when I wake up, and they want to see what stuff is growing in and on our bodies. And then,
that's kind of gross.
It is. But so we do it on the ground, then we do it in orbit, and then we do it when we return, and they compare the results, and they say, okay, look, obviously in orbit, this guy's got a lot more bacteria or something growing on him, so that means something's going on board space station. And they try to figure out.
Aren't you guys healthier up there, though? Because you're not exposed to all the bacteria
we are not exposed
on
to cold viruses and things like that, but there is bacteria growing all the time, so that's bacteria is definitely a challenge, keeping things clean.
And also, I'll chime in, actually, immune response is inhibited in spaceflight for reasons we don't fully understand. So that's why we're very careful about being very clean whenever we send stuff.
Quarantine.
Oh, yeah.
Because
what do you
when
do
they
if
get
they
back
get
for a
really
little while, they're
yes.
a little more susceptible to getting colds. And another good reason why quarantine is so important. Make sure that not only the crew members launching are nice and healthy, but so that they're not exposing their crew members who maybe have already been in space for 3 months.
Because I was thinking of the flu season and how bad it's been this year. But I haven't heard anybody on the ISS getting sick.
It's pretty rare because we do the quarantine before launch. On the space shuttle, we used to do a 1-week quarantine. For space station, we do the quarantine over in Russia for about 2 weeks.
So you won't have that. I think you're getting chickenpox.
It decreases the possibility tremendously. I mean, it's always possible, even in quarantine, to get sick, but it's pretty rare. Because we are interacting with some people in quarantine. It's just a much smaller number. I wouldn't be able to do things like this when I'm
Oh, no. Have you ever flown Soyuz before?
No, it's my first Soyuz mission.
I can't wait to hear the comparison.
Knees,
Well, my students call it the sardine can because that's how I compare it.
I know. That's what
Well, it's like, say, I've been
with your
inside of a soy scoops. They're tiny.
I can't even imagine. I mean, like, you can't be claustrophobic.
No.
Are you going to be doing the same day docking?
That's the current plan. With the next mission, Soyuz normally launches, it takes 2 days to dock, for those who don't know. the next mission that launches May 28th, they will be doing it. They launch, and 6 hours later, they're docking the space station. It's a
That'll be
full-
nice.
full-
I wonder why they took so long.
And landing is pretty quick too.
Oh, it's
so
very
the plan is if
quick, but
the next two
hellacious.
missions we'll do, next two Soyuz we'll do this quick scheme. If everything goes well, we
Then you can
probably
just
will
keep
continue. But it's all, we're training for both techniques right now. We're training for the 6 day and the 6 hour and the 2 day rendezvous. So we're doing both.
Okay.
So probably won't know until
You get there.
until really close to launch. If everything goes well, and they've already done this with the Progress vehicles, they've done the quick scheme and land and docked within 6 hours, and it's worked fine. They've had minimal problems. So,
I'd be afraid to land in the space.
but, it's good news, bad news. It only takes you 6 hours to get there, but you're in your spacesuit for about 12 hours.
Right.
So it's not comfortable being a suit for that long.
Those knees, I've heard it's really hard on the knees when they're
Right.
stretching down.
Once you get in zero G though, once you get in zero G, you loosen up
Okay,
your
that's
straps.
true.
You stretch out your legs a little bit. So you're not going to run laps in the Soyuz, but you're going to you can stretch out a little bit. So it probably won't be too
Oh,
bad.
too bad. Okay.
If I had a choice, I'd take the quick scheme,
Right.
but I don't have a choice. They don't ask me. I just do what they tell me.
So, Rick, why is the transition to the new quick rendezvous versus
The two.
spending time?
You didn't. I don't know exactly. I think obviously it's a good idea to get there as quick as possible, but I think it might be it might save money for the Russian Space Agency. I've heard part of it is that with the flight controllers and I don't know exactly how it does it, but they're motivated. The Russians are motivated to do this every time.
And you don't have to worry about getting sick.
Well, yeah, that's one of the concerns. That's one of the flight docs. One of the reasons why we take 2 days is because space adaptation. It takes your body more than 2 days, but usually they found that your body, after a couple of days, you're feeling pretty good. So that's why they want to do the docking on the second day, so you're feeling better, and then you dock. It's a highly dynamic maneuvers. You might have to take over manually dock it, so they want to give you those 2 days to feel better. So one of the concerns is if you do it in 6 hours, you're not feeling very well, and if you have to take over manually, fly a spaceship when you're not feeling well, it's not good.
No.
So that is a concern.
Find out.
Yeah. I'm on a crew with a lot of experienced guys. I've flown 3 times. Koichi Wakata's flown 3 times. One's a long duration, and my Russian commander, he's flown I think 3 times also.
Who is it?
Mikhail Turin. I think this will be his 3rd or his 4th expedition. So we've got a lot of experienced folks on my crew, but not all the crews are that experienced. So we'll see. So did everybody get a chance to look around? What else should we do?
Take a few questions and then we gotta let you go.
Okay, a few more questions.
This is your chance.
Excuse me. Are the Russians what?
As dry and as funny as they are depicted immediately.
Are they dry and funny? Yeah, some of them are funny. Yeah, it's just like they're just like any other type of people. Different folks. Yeah.
That was one of them. One of them, he never smiled. I never saw him.
Yuri Malenchenko.
Yeah. Yes.
But he's a good guy, though. He's a hard worker. He's very talented. I flew with him on STS-106 about 13 years ago. Yeah, really good guy. But yeah.
To smile.
But yeah, they're good guys. As you get to know them, they're great. They're good, fun to work with. And flying in a new vehicle, I've been working space shuttle since 1987, long time. So this is all new to me to fly a small vehicle like this. But it's great.
How much interaction is there between? It doesn't look like there's a lot, at least from what we see on NASA TV and stuff. Interaction
crew?
between the Russian crew and whatever other crew.
On board the space station?
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the crew. It depends on the crew. But yeah, you really don't interact with your crewmates a whole lot while you're working. Like you've got a job to do, you got a job to do, I got a job to do. I'll see you at dinner time. So it's like going off to your workplace and you work. Even when I was on shuttle, I launched the space station 3 years ago. Susan's husband Clay and I. There's 13 people up there, and I would be working for hours and hours. And I would look around and I'd see nobody. And I'm like, where the heck is everybody? Did they all leave? It's a big place, and you can easily disappear for a few hours behind some rack, and you're working, doing your thing, and just lose track of everybody else. So it's a big place. Now, sometimes you have a task with another crew member, you work with them. But it depends on the crew. Like we would try to eat dinner together at night. And I think when we're up there living there for 6 months, we're going to eat dinner together every night just to socialize and see what's going on with each other. So it depends on the individuals, just like anything else. How much you interact with folks.
Do you interact with each other on any of the research?
The research, sometimes we do, like if we have to help each other on experiments. Like we have to do ultrasounds when we're up there. So I will ultrasound you, you ultrasound me, basically, you know. So we have to train. Like if I volunteer for some experiment, some other crew member may have to get trained to perform the experiment, not me. So we do interact in that way. Draw blood. You know, we can draw our own blood, or we can have somebody else draw our blood for us. So in ways like that, we do work together. I've done it a few times. It's not that bad. You're concentrating so hard that you don't even feel it. And then they have volunteers come in and we draw their blood. Anybody want to volunteer? I really don't. I'm not very good at it. Some of these people are pretty brave. They have some inexperienced person poking on them. It's all for science.
Yes.
So, do we want to maybe go through quick pictures maybe? Do you
Sure.
all want to get some pictures?
Yeah.
Sure. How do you want to do groups of like?
Yeah, let's do groups of like 5. Maybe standing in front of the Columbus module
Okay.
or something. So if everybody will come this way, we'll put Rick in front of the Columbus module sign. Okay.
Rick, I'm going to give you one of my trading cards.
All right.
So I don't put in your
So let's everybody come this way so there's room. And then, how about can we just do it? Will you guys all trade information so you can trade pictures and that kind of thing? All right. So if we want like 4 people to stand around Rick real fast.
Do you want to
go?
Let's
go.
Hey, just go and over. You're already up there.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Look this way.
Out the way.
I'm sorry. I mean, forever I do that, but I hope it's working. Press the button once.
I'll stand in the front of
Okay, next group of 4.
Thank you, bye.
Okay. Do you want? Are you going now?
Yeah.
Are you going now?
I hope I can do it.
Just the button. That's all you need to do.
I've got names on it. You take one. You take one.
We're all looking different directions.
I just like that. Sorry.
We'll all land on it at some point.
Say when.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Sunny.
Thanks.
No tweeting.
Will you take my camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
Too late. Never done.
Oh.
Thank you.
Got it.
Yes.
Trying to get into the bag.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, we did it. Yes, we did
Sure, it's far worse than the real space.
I was just sliding my foot across.
Ever touch the bottom?
We should have balanced out the other way.
Everywhere.
Can you hear me now?
It's amazing. Supplies. Lots of supplies. Okay, next. Slide on in.
You've already been.
Yeah.
Go to the other side. So yeah, okay.
I've got.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, just turn it on.
This one right here.
Hey Rick, this way.
I'm not far back enough to get everyone.
Look like the first person. How many more need to go?
One more.
Okay, I can list 2 groups maybe.
Have you already been?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anyone want to?
As long as I.
Oh, I've got
can't wait. Somebody hand me a camera. Who was that? Me.
I'm right over your head, so be careful.
I just got it.
You have to hold it for a while on my plane. I don't know if it took or not.
Holy cow, we've almost got the same camera. I'm like, which one's which? Oh, this is hers.
I think the last one's probably the best. I zoomed in on you two.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Huh?
That is nifty.
Not bad, huh?
That's pretty good.
We'll do.
Huh?
That's pretty good.
All right, great.
Almost alive.
What is this called?
One more question for Rick.
Oh, that's the GoPro.
Yeah, tiny.
I've heard of it. I've never actually seen it.
Yeah.
So it's live streamed.
Oh yeah, sorry. No, it just recording it so I can upload it later.
Okay. How much does it cost?
I've got a 13 gig card in there right now. Or 16. Cost me $13.
What is it you want to hear us tweet about, the astronauts? What kind of things? I try to give you insight into stuff that you don't read in the paper or you don't hear about. So
I've always wondered, are you
Trade off.
well,
does your body undergo some?
yeah, you do have weird things. Like when I did my spacewalks, I would come in and I would go to sleep. I'd close my eyes and I would see the Earth spinning in my eyes. Oh wow! It's like being on the ocean. You ever been on a boat sailing all day? When you get home, you go to bed at night. Like you're in your bed. I had that exact same feeling from my spacewalks.
That would be a 24-hour cycle in terms of sleep.
No, we're in a normal 24-hour cycle. Just the sun rise up and down for 16 times a day.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, but we keep a 24-hour period. Yeah. That's what GMT or GMT we use.
Whenever I go to work, I always get pissed off about something. I want to hear what you're pissed off about.
No wonder it's only 140 characters. I would need a lot more room.
Just for once, I'd like to say, stupid bolt, why didn't you move? Usually like to see change. Get up there and, I wish this was...
Yeah, I'm not supposed to do that. It's like anything else. You go up there, you get frustrated with some things, but you got to remember, hey, I'm in space, man. So
Right, yeah, that's a good
Mike knows,
point.
we call the ground and we say, hey, Houston, you want me to sort all the left socks and the right socks? What?
Hey,
really?
I'm in space.
Really? Okay. So you just got to smile and say, what the heck? What the heck? I could be at home mowing my lawn or something.
Do you ever see other stuff transiting around the Earth or too far?
Yeah, you see stuff, yeah. Once in a while, little pieces of debris and stuff like that,
Yeah, are there...
Space shuttle, whenever you open up the payload bay door, you always look for little pieces of debris, dust, and maybe a little piece of wire, just little things, a little washer,
Yeah, are there ever like any heavy political discussions between the countries? I always wondered.
Oh, I don't get into that.
I always wondered about that. Just
I'm sure there is.
Late '80s.
It's not my area of expertise.
I'm sorry to say this, but we're going to have to let Rick go.
Darn.
Yeah, we're going to head that way.
We can ask. I wanted to hear the news from my hometown of Waterbury.
We're on our way over mission control. We're going to see Bryce
Telephone. And email. Same way.
Feel connected? Or do you, obviously you don't
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. All right, guys.
Yes, I know. Ride with Rick. Flight Engineer 7.
I know.
We got N squared.
Yes.
Let's keep going. Good. Good.
Yeah, it goes down.
About 2.5 hours. But I didn't know exactly how long it would take, what chapter, all that stuff really early. And just to chill that stuff. So I think it's so much easier to land
Yeah. We'll see how it turns out.
That's when I asked Brian, I said, where's Nate? What's that GoPro? Oh, dude, look at the free vest. Go to the free vest. I just got all my stuff on Phoenix, so it's weird that it would be free. Oh, the history. Oh, that one, yes.
Coffee.
Yes.
Except me, I don't like coffee.
Oh, I do. I could smell it all day.
I'm okay with it.
So nice having a smartphone. The last time I was here, I only had my iPod Touch, and so I couldn't tweet unless there was Wi-Fi around. Oh no! At the time, the Wi-Fi never worked.
And you can smell it.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we go back to the party. That way they can keep count, I guess.
Yes, I agree.
You guys are not coffee.
I cannot stand the smell of coffee. I cannot stand the taste of coffee.
I am with you.
Love the smell, hate the taste.
Drink.